Hello everyone, Reverend Deanna Cox here with our midweek reflection for this second week of Lent. We are looking at Psalm 22 and a passage from the Gospel of John this Sunday. And Psalm 22 starts out with, "I look to the hills, and from where will my help come?" That looking for help is our theme for this week, looking for the helpers. Last week we talked about looking for the resistors, the people that are actively resisting the temptations in our world. And today we're looking for the people that are helping spread love, helping nourish love in our world. We often look for help and look for love in the wrong places. The title of this series is Looking for Love in the Wrong Places. And we do that even though we know in our hearts what we need to do. Take, for example, our own well-being. We know that we need to eat less or eat better and exercise more, yet we still are looking for help in all kinds of diets or tricks or tips on how to lose weight quickly. We also tend to think that there's some trick or tip to love, to being loved, to finding love in the world. And there's not. We forget. We think that we have to earn it somehow. And we forget that we are loved, that everything in the world is created by God, a God that loves unconditionally, that we are created in God's image, and so we are loved unconditionally. The hard part is there's so much in our world that feeds the message that we need to earn love or that we are unlovable. We're told that we are not loved as we are because we aren't the right shape, we aren't the right gender, we aren't the right color, we aren't the right type of believer, we aren't the right age, or the list goes on. And you name it, these messages are everywhere, whether we realize that they are or are not. Yet, deep down, we know the answer. Our help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. As Nicodemus discovers in John, God is the one who guards our comings and our goings. We forget that we are created in God's image. God who knows us from the moment we were knit in the womb. God who loves us even beyond death. And God who remains with us throughout the fullness of our life's journey. The passage in Psalm 121 is like looking for our help and reminding us that our help comes from God. The passage in the Gospel of John is Nicodemus also looking for help, looking for this deep connection with God, and being told that he needs to be born again, and not fully understanding what that means. How can I go back in the womb and be born again? And I think that we all sort of struggle. How do we embrace that spirit, that help from God? The interesting thing about the Gospel of John is that if you read it, there's multiple layers of meaning in it, as with many passages. But also John, in the Gospel of John, the disciples really don't get what is being told to them. And I kind of actually like that, because I think sometimes we really don't get what it means. Do we know what it means to be created in God's image? That each and every one of us is created in God's image, not just the folks that look and talk like us. We are all created in God's image. And what does that mean? What does it mean to love our neighbor as ourselves? What does it mean to love ourselves as God loves us? And so I think that quite often we are like the disciples in John's gospel. We can hear the message on one level, but we don't comprehend the full depth of it. And so I challenge you this week to look for the helpers, to look for those who are nourishing love in themselves, because that is hard to do sometimes, and to look for people that are nourishing love in others, people who are nourishing love in the community, and a broad encompassing love, like the kind that God calls us to live into. And so, I encourage you to look for the helpers this week. You may have noticed, or maybe not, that on Sunday we posted a video that has the intro to our worship services in it, and it also has a children's time video in it. So if you have children, or know of someone who has children, or even just embrace for your own self that you are still, no matter what age, a child of God, I encourage you to watch for those videos. If nothing else, you can always find them on our YouTube channel, DKR United. Search that on YouTube, and you can scroll down and watch the ones you've missed. Same with our midweek reflections. And so as you look for helpers this week, maybe one way that you will nourish love is by sharing this message or one of our other messages of love with someone else who maybe needs to find a place where they can be nourished in love. And so I encourage you to do that, to invite someone to watch our YouTube channels. And so, friends, I think that's it. Thank you to everyone who participated in the Killam United online auction. We did very well. Thank you for your support. And thank you to everyone who supports the Daysland Boutique, the clothing that we sell. Maybe that's another way that you can be a helper in the world, is encourage people to give as they are able, or come and shop in the boutique if they are in need of affordable clothing. And or just in a way of living lighter on the planet instead of buying fast fashion. There's many ways to be a helper. And there's lots going on for Lent, so I encourage you to check us out. dkrunited.ca. Thanks for joining me for this midweek reflection on looking for the helper, as we start to dive into the series Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places, and helping us turn our hearts back to, and our actions and our lives to turn them back to the purpose that God has called us to, being people of love in a world that often is hard and difficult. Well, friends, I'm Deanna Cox. I'm a minister with the United Church of Canada. I serve the physical communities of Daysland, Killam, and Roseland, and this online community of DKR United. If you find these posts helpful, I encourage you to give as you are able to both our local church fund and to our mission and service fund, as they are definitely supporters of nourishing love in the world. We currently have active donations for Turkey, Ukraine, Syria, and so I am very proud of the way that our church supports and nourishes love, not only locally but in our world. So give as you are able to both our local church and to the Mission and Service Fund of the United Church of Canada. Take care. May God bless your week. Bye.